Hi, this is Chris and Norbert from Pagepro, and today we are going to walk you through State of React Native survey. Norbert, it's nice to have you here on our show. Can you tell something about yourself?
Yeah, hello everyone. I'm Norbert. I'm a React Native expert in Pagepro company. I'm working with the React Native for almost 6 years, and I worked on the different types of the applications, so I got the experience to tell something about it.
Thanks, Norbert, for introduction. So I'm going to share screen in a moment, but Norbert, maybe before we start, can you tell something about your key findings from the survey? Maybe something surprised you the most, and you can share it on the beginning.
Yeah, I found the three things that surprised me a lot. So first of them is the React Native bring the best parts, in my opinion, the best parts from the web development. So it's a growth of Expo router and folder-based navigation structure and native find. So it is a represent of the tailwind in the React Native. The second thing is that a lot of developers come to the React Native not only from the React, but also from the other front-end languages and also from the backend. So the entry to the React Native world is on the lower level. So thanks for Expo for it. And the third one is how many apps that is got a lot of users, that over the million, and it is ready for production. And yeah, that's, I think, that's
Okay.
three things.
Yeah, I also see that Expo is growing and making lowering the barrier of entering React Native a lot. Yeah, so let me share my screen. Inaczej chciałem to zrobić. O, czekaj, chyba teraz pójdzie. Okay, so you should see my screen. So this is the third edition of the survey. This is prepared by Software Mansion, also a company from Poland. And yeah, React Native is very strong in Poland. So let's start with the results. So the introduction, I think, yeah, what's important here is that React Native has the new architecture that now it's a standard. Norbert, is it worth to mention that, or this is very basic? What do you think?
Yeah, it's become the standard, and we are waiting for the static Hermes, but maybe we will see it in the 2025. We'll see.
Okay. Okay, so the first section is about developer background. So I think this is something you already mentioned. So people who are working with React Native before were working with React, but also with other technologies, right? And so what are the main ones, and what are your conclusions here?
Yeah, mostly it comes from the React developers, so from the web. It is my path to become a React Native developer, but a lot of developers come from the other languages, the front-end languages. I think that's mean that is not the alternative in the another front-end languages. And from the backend developer, that's mean that React Native is on the lower level to entry.
For me, it's very interesting that we have 14% people who started with React Native. So I guess for them, there was a decision. Okay, we are going to build cross-platform project. So are we going to do that in, for just for Android and iOS separately, or with React Native? So I think 14% of those people selected just starting with React Native.
Yeah, it's covered both platforms, so it is rather the business decision to going with the React Native than with only the one platform, yeah, and got the traffic only from the one platform.
Okay, I see that 85% of respondents are working professionally with React Native. That's great. And yeah, top React Native app user count. I think Norbert, you had some comments about this slide.
Yeah, if you see the two last
Rows.
rows, one is about from 100K to 1 million and over 1 million, and it's about 20% together. So I think a lot of apps over that count is using the React Native on the production. So it means the React Native is ready for very big projects, not only for the small ones, and it is stable to have a lot of users.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, great. Mobile app team size. So we have a lot of solo developers.
Yeah, that means also the solo developer can develop in the product for both platforms. So I think it's great.
Yes. So yeah. So the previous slide is saying that it's good for enterprise and big projects and companies, and this is saying that it's also good for startups, one man armies. Yeah. So we see that it's easy to apply React Native for different use cases. Target platforms. So we see that Android and iOS are of course on the top, but we also see the web on as 22%, 740 respondents. And as I was comparing that with the previous edition, it was around 500 of web respondents marking web as target platform. So I think that means it usage of React Native expands from iOS and Android also to the web. What do you think, Norbert?
Yeah, I think if Expo added the Expo router, it is easier to make also the application for the web because it's covered the navigation not only for the mobile platforms but also for web. And the huge impact of that is the using the React Native web components that you can build it in React Native, but also run it on the web. So I think that's why we got here 22%.
Okay, cool. Yeah, what else? This is about contributing to React Native or libraries. And we see that most of the people, most of the responders have production-ready applications, and 41% released more than one. They released two or from 2 to 5 apps, and we have some serial app developers that release more than 10, 131 respondents.
Yeah, it's a lot of, but that means more and more application on the market is written in the React Native, yeah, not the mobile, so the native ones.
Okay, industry sectors. So the top 3 industries are finance, health and fitness, and education. Yeah, Norbert, why they are the top?
I interpret it like it is very close, so 19 to 17 to 17. In my opinion, the React Native is suitable for all types of the application. Maybe the finance is first because the people in the finance industry know how to count money, and pick the cross-platform is a good choice for them to not build team for the Android and for iOS, for example. But where app is just to get in the data, display the data, and manipulating it with if forms, the React Native is, I think, the best to do the cross-platform.
I think functionalities of those three app categories are pretty pretty standard, pretty usual. So you don't have like very advanced animations, or maybe you also don't have any integrations, like you need to connect with different with other devices, or stuff like that. Yeah, so I think this is a pretty good use case, finance. And I would also add crypto to the finance category, and probably, yeah, we don't have crypto here.
You got it lower, I guess.
Oh.
Crypto and Web3, yeah.
Mm-hmm. From my research, yeah, React Native is the best for crypto if we compare with Flutter or other cross-platform frameworks, because it has many libraries that you can use. Very big companies like Coinbase are working with React Native, so I would think that this might be higher in the table.
I think maybe the responder is not working with these projects, so that is why it is so low. Maybe more just working with finance, health, but in my opinion, the React Native is good for all types of industries, but you need to know the limitations of the React Native. Like you said, very hard animations or GPU usage with the 3D.
Yes. Okay, cool. So what's next? So people were feeling mainly from US and India, but we have almost 100 from Poland. Norbert, are you one of those?
Yeah, I am.
Okay. Okay, great. Years of experience. So we see that yeah, the biggest portion is people working from 6 to 10 years with in programming.
Yeah, generally in programming, not in the React Native.
Okay, company size. So we have a lot of bigger companies from 100 to 1000. Yeah, so what also it might mean that React Native is choice for more mature companies, but also we have some startups like you can see.
Yeah,
with
even you have got the funds to have two teams, like one for Android, the second for the iOS. That companies speak the React Native like a language. So
yes, interesting. Okay, what's next? Platform APIs. Norbert, is it something interesting on this slide?
I think the tops are the libraries that the platform APIs that use every app. So camera notifications, permissions, deep links.
Yes.
I think interesting is the persistent storage. It is because it's a trend to make it local firstly and caching a lot of data. So just make the application very performance and fast for user to use. So load from the local storage and first touch in the screen should be very fast to keep user with the application.
Yes, because if yeah, we are not providing this offline first approach, user could just use mobile version of the web app, right? And have similar experience. So yeah, this is making the experience much better. Okay, what else? Pain points. So we have problems with notifications, background processing, and deep linking. Isn't it a bit
Yeah.
strange that deep linking is still a problem? I think this is a problem for several years in React Native.
Yeah, I think the complexity and hard to navigate to the proper page in the application, but thanks to Expo Router, because the deep link in Expo Router is handled automatically. So if you prepare a navigation in a good way, you got it from out of the box. So I think it's great because it's making a lot of revenue for example, e-commerce when you have to got a good deep linking, for example, to the product in your application. Yeah.
Yeah. Great. Okay, so let's check the libraries. Yes, we have the summary here, but also we have the chart. So we see that inline styling is more in use, but also we have more positive opinions about that.
Yeah, and it's very interesting for me because I really don't like it. I think it is not performance and make a code very untidy and very hard to read. So if you prefer to go with just normal styling in the React Native application, please do it with the style sheet API, not that inline. But inline is good, in my opinion, to debugging something. If you want to check how your component render, just use inline styling, but then remove it and replace it with the style sheet API or with the native one.
Okay. And React navigation is decreasing. This is because of rising of Expo solutions?
Yeah, but I really don't understand it because Expo router is built on the React navigation. So maybe the Expo router is rising and navigation is going down, but it's really using the both solution using the React navigation under the hood. So
okay, I think we will have some more information about that later. Okay, state management. In state management, we have a pretty solid graph of Zustand. What is it, and do you know why it's growing?
yeah, it is a tool to state management. It is very simple and very easy to use. And the main reason why we want to use the Zustand is they avoid re-renders. So we increase the performance in our application, and it's not just pain of the performance.
Okay, and we see that built-in React state management is still very popular, but is decreasing, and probably Zustand is taking this share. Redux is decreasing for several years. Do you have any ideas why? Do you use Redux in your current project?
We use it in the past, but the main pain point with the Redux is that there are a lot of boilerplate with that. So we have to make reducers, actions, etc., and keep it together. So the simpler one is Instant, when you have the just getting the data from the store, put it in the store. So less code and use it simpler and easier.
Okay.
But a lot of I think India developers use still Redux, and because I saw a lot of tutorials from Redux and Redux tools.
Yes, maybe it's becoming an old school, but I also see that we have the biggest portion of people with negative experience with Redux.
Yeah.
When I check other, and almost no with Zustand.
Yeah, developers love Zustand.
Okay. On device storage. Okay, data fetching. So the most popular is Fetch API. It's 1% more than last year.
I think the reason is it is a built-in solution because I don't see any more advantages of it. If you want to do it better, just use Access because they have the interceptors and you can have the instances and transforming the data to the JSON automatically. So a lot of advantages over the Fetch API.
So yeah, both are on the top. Access has 1% less than last year, but as I remember, we had more respondents in 2024. So maybe this is not something that is very easy to measure right here, and yeah, maybe we shouldn't make any conclusions based on that. But on the other hand, we see Tanstack rising every year. I think this is the biggest rise this year.
I think it is not only to the data fetching because we are using this also for the management state, the server state. And yeah, it's great tool and we pick it in every project we can. It's handling the loading, handling the fetching. You can mutate the data, make optimistic updates, and a lot of good thing with it. I think the one of the biggest point of Tanstack query is the caching, and you can go the data from the launch the application. Yeah, so local firstly.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, and the data fetching pain points. So caching is on the first place. So maybe the solution you just mentioned is addressing this pain point. What do you think?
Yeah, if you are using Fetch API or Access, yeah, caching can be a problem. But with the Tanstack query, they handle the caching. Maybe here's the problem with the manipulate the cache because sometimes you have to manipulate it, add something, remove something from cache. So maybe that can be a pain point because it is complex and requires some knowledge. But in the other ways, I don't see the problem with the caching if you are using the Tanstack query.
Okay, great. Navigation. So React Navigation is losing the share, and Expo Router is winning the market. Yeah. Do you use Expo Router?
Yeah, we used it in the one project and it is on the production. You can check it, our case studies. It is a Pagepro. So we use it. Yeah, and I think it is good. I tried a little to use it in the very big application with the very complex navigation. But when I read that survey, I see that a lot of people use it. So maybe we should try it in the next projects.
Okay. Okay, anything else about the navigation, or I should go to the next slide?
I think on the market is only two ways to do it. One with the React Navigation and the second is the Expo Router.
Okay, styling. So we see that inline styling is growing. So this is not something that you recommend, right?
Yeah. It's not performance well, and yeah, the read of code is horrible with inline styling. Sometimes you need to add the inline styling, like the flat list have something like the container styles or something like that, and the animation styles sometimes you add in like the inline, but yeah, still I want to avoid it in the projects.
Okay. And native Wind is growing.
It's growing a lot, and that's I mentioned before. It's bringing from the web development where we are using the Tailwind mostly, I think the growing here is because people want to use it across the platform. So if they work on the web application, they want to reuse it also in the mobile applications. And I think the big part here is also AI generating, because it's I see a lot of tools that generating components right in the Tailwind. So I think that's the reason here.
Okay, and why we have native wind and Tailwind React?
It's similar, but native wind is built in the build time, and the Tailwind is just during the development. Yeah, and the native wind got some parts like hooks that you can, for example, get in the color from the classes or something like that. So it's I think performed well than Tailwind or React Native.
So which of those do you recommend for next projects?
I recommend native wind. Best documentation, and like I said, got some hooks that can bring some color spaces, etc. from the classes. So grow a lot.
Cool. And emotion is in bad emotions because now I'm filtering by positivity, and it's decreasing a lot for emotion. I think there's a lot of performance problems with emotion. Let's go to component libraries. And I think this slide is not very optimistic because we don't have much better ranks in terms of usage about the positivity. Also, most of them are decreasing. Why people don't like use component libraries?
The most problem with that, I think, is one is performance. The second one is customization. I think with the AI, it's very easy to make a custom component with, for example, Tailwind, then use the component libraries and trying to some customization on it. So I think, in my opinion, the component library is dead right now, and it will disappear in the next years.
Interesting. We'll check in your predictions. Okay, component libraries. Pain points. They're not stable. Problems with lists. Maintenance, performance. Yeah, I think this is what you mentioned basically. Okay, Norbert, how do you debug your React Native applications? Do you also rely mostly on console?
Yeah, right now it's not a good tool to debugging, profiling the React Native application. And most of developers still use the console log, and the fun part is the console log is removed in the next version of the React Native. But they bring it back when developers just shout on it about removing it, because they still use it like the mostly.
Yeah.
So I think that's a pain point of React Native, that is not a good tool to debugging. I think the Expo make React Native DevTools, but it can be in the future a very good product to debugging the application, but not right now.
Okay, now we are having a slide about testing libraries. Norbert, any comments?
Yeah, still on the top, the Jest and React Native testing library. Very high position of the storybook. We are using it to the components. And yeah, the next is Detox and the Maestro is the tools for the end-to-end testing, but it is still freaky and make more problems than positive because they rely on the Android devices and sometimes the emulators not working so fast. So yeah, a lot of bad opinion about that's a freaky, and one time it's working and the second time not because the code is breaking, but because the emulator.
Okay. About analytics, I see that Firebase Analytics is the big player here, and it's very hard to catch up on them.
Yeah, but I watched the videos that other developers don't understand why Firebase is so good and so high, and they recommend to use Mixpanel or the post hoc. Yeah, Firebase is on the top right now. But we'll see because a lot of negative and with the post hoc and Mixpanel, a lot of positives. So maybe it will be replaced in the future.
Okay. Yeah. React Native architecture. So yeah, we have Hermes growing.
It's out of the box right now. And new architecture we said this year, but then we have to find waiting for the retaining the some libraries for the React Native because not all of them just using and are compatible with the architecture. So it's challenge for the community to make it working.
And about the positivity, native views are decreasing a lot, and native modules as well.
It's legacy.
Yeah. Okay. What else? React Native version. So almost half of the respondents are using .76 version.
Yeah, the latest.
Yeah, so they're keeping up to date. And I think, yeah, we're going to have, a slide about updating strategy. And the most popular strategy is upgrade in parallel with Expo SDK releases. Why do you think? Why is like that?
In the previous survey, we got pain points, and on the top was the upgrading the React Native. So now when we got the Expo SDK and making the upgrade with the Expo, it's disappeared from the pain points. So that's why Expo provides the config plugins that we manipulate the native code by plugins, not just doing it manually and writing code in the native part. So that's why it's easier to export to upgrade the version to the latest, because you can remove the iOS Android folder from the Expo project and rebuild it from the config plugins. So yeah, the upgrade is easier because you don't have managed the native code that you wrote by yourself in the project in past.
Okay, cool. So Expo is making React Native development much easier in terms of starting the project, but also maintaining the project thanks to those updates. Okay, very good. Mobile web code sharing. So we also saw that now React Native is not just for mobile, but also includes web, and React Native Web is on the top.
Yeah. But a lot of, like we see on the second place, not sharing code between the web and the mobile. So it's more traditional, but yeah, on the first place is React Native Web. And I think the huge impact here is Expo Rotary and Expo.
Okay, build and publish. Yeah, so we see ES build rising for last 2 editions, and this is the next is rising. So I guess this is another example of good impact of Expo on React Native.
Yeah, you can move the builds on the cloud. You can develop the application using for example, Windows. You can make a build for iOS using ES builds, not without having the macOS system, because to the ES times, you have to build application using the macOS. So thanks for Expo to move it the cloud. And yeah, you can just trigger a build and forgot about it, because it is also built with the submit. So app is built and then submitted on the test site or on the store without any our actions. It also keep the making certificates for the application and keep the secrets. So all of stuff is moved from the developer to that tool. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, so this is the most popular solution right now, and also it has the least amount of negative feedbacks. Okay, what's next? DevTools. Yeah, so ES, CLI, increasing. Why is like that?
You can use terminal to make a build, trigger the build, submit the application to the stores. So that's why it's growing. I think there isn't an alternative for now to the ES, and ES just grab everyone.
Okay. So I see that we have a lot, 62% of people using 100% in TypeScript.
Yeah. Now, if you're starting the Expo app, what is recommended by React Native and Meta. So starting with creating the Expo app, you got the built-in TypeScript. So yeah, that's how it's grow a lot.
Okay. And I think this is a new question. I couldn't saw it in the previous edition. AI code generation. So what portion of the code you produce is AI generated? And 1/3 is saying that around 12%. Yeah, so we see a lot of code generation here. Only 11 people are only rely on AI, but yeah, more than half, more yeah.
But I surprised about it, because I think that number is low, because 12% is not a lot. I thought it will be more and more, but maybe it change in the next year, because it was survey from the previous.
Yeah, but it looks like if you're not using AI for your React Native project, you are in a niche, because almost 90% of respondents are using AI. Yeah, so if you're not using AI for your React Native code generation, maybe you're left behind.
Yeah. Especially for the components, yeah, where you got a native wind, so a representative of the Tailwind, and AI can very great generate the components code with Tailwind.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so I think this is the most surprising result for me, that 90% of respondents are using AI for code development, for React Native development, and what? Yeah, and then those numbers are pretty large, because if I combine those two, that means half of the respondents are generated from 12 to 25% of the code, so it's pretty big. What else? Started templates, create Expo app is the most popular, and I think this is the only recommended starter by React Native. Is that correct?
Yeah, last year it was added to the docs, like I recommended to start the application with Create Expo app instead the React Native CLI. And I think it's the reason it.
Okay. Other cross-platform frameworks. Yeah, is something important here. We see that Swift UI is increasing. Kotlin multi-platform as well, in terms of positivity. And I see that there's a decreased mood for Flutter. Do you know why is that?
I think it's because they got a conflict and in the community. I think they separate for the two another tools, but I'm not 100% sure about it. I think it's not growing a lot, so a lot of features are blocking or stopping because some people decide about it, and it's not so fast because amount of people to decide about the changes.
Yeah, so this is also pretty shocking to me. So about the positivity is decreasing pretty much a lot. The retention is also decreasing. Usage is increased 3%, but we also have more respondents. So I think it's on the stable level.
But you need to know and understand that is state or survey of React Native. So a lot of React Native developers hate the Flutter, so maybe.
Yeah, are biased. Okay. Okay. Resources. So this is where you can get some knowledge about React Native. And Norbert, how you get new knowledge about React Native?
Mostly from Twitter, or now it is X. So I follow the superstars from React Native community. It's like here from the React Native docs and Expo docs.
Okay. Okay, we have list of popular newsletters, and yeah, X is the most useful platform to be up to date with React Native. Podcast React Native Radio. We have some video creators, people. Okay. Opinions. Is React Native moving in the right direction? So yeah, almost 90% of respondents are saying yes, that it's going in the right direction. Norbert, and what is your position?
Yeah, I think it's true because it's easier for the developer to work with it. I remember the times when uh, it's a pain. It was a pain to work with the React Native, and it was very unstable. Now it is stable, and the plan for the next year is to make it stable more. So maybe we have the React Native 1 version. So because right now we got 0.79, so maybe the 2025 will be the year where we got this React Native 1.0.
Okay. Building React Native apps is overly complex right now. So yeah, most of the people disagree with that. And I think this is also something that Expo is helping a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we are waiting for the tools to the debugging until that it will be more complex.
Yeah, so if we see the pain points, unmaintained packages and debugging class, like you mentioned, there's on top.
Interesting thing here with the unmaintained packages is that not many people does contribute in the open source package that you got in the survey on the first pages, but also they have the pain points like unmaintained packages is a problem here. So I think we have to all going together and help to maintain the packages, especially with the new architecture.
Okay. Yes. So it's like if you would be annoyed that your room is not cleaned up and you're not cleaning up the room.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Missing features is also debugging. Better performance is 33% of the respondents. I think React Native is, we have a lot of updates focused on performance, and those are making apps more performant and more with nicer UX.
Why we got the new architecture, and also the company like Software Machine make the animated and move all stuff with the animation on the UI thread, not on JS, to make the performance better and better year by year.
Okay. Top 3 advantages of React Native is cross-platform, Expo, and hot reloading. Yeah, its performance is on the 19th place. Okay, and I think that's it. That's it from the survey. After checking all of the slides and all of the pages, for me the most shocking, two most shocking things is one is this decrease of Flutter satisfaction. I understand this is a React Native survey, but still, we see some problems with Flutter on this survey, with the satisfaction and the retention, and it's not growing in the popularity. So that's interesting for me. And the second is this AI code generated portion. So 90% of the respondents are using AI for code generation, and we have a lot of people that just use AI. So they're not doing any manual work to produce React Native application. So yeah, that's our main two surprises. Maybe you have something else to add on the end after another round of checking.
My opinion is that what I said on the beginning, we want like a developers have it very similar, the web development and the mobile development, and connect it together to pick the best practices from the web and from the mobile and make the really good cross-platform solution and make the application for all things like webs, mobiles, TVs, etc. Yeah.
Okay, so thank you, Norbert, a lot for this review of the survey, and I hope we can see soon on next recording on some news about Expo. Thank you very much. See you later. Bye bye.
Thank you. See you.